Hey everyone, I hope all is well. Listen, it's been a hectic, oh my gosh, hectic Monday. I'm sure yours is busy as well. So I'm trying to squeeze these in whenever I can. And I have a list, and it's we'll try to get to that maybe Tuesday or Wednesday. Let's see. Anyway, saw this on Twitter, and I want you to take a look at it. And not to be a hater, you can vote for whomever you want, but what I want people to understand is this. Life is not about worrying about somebody else and we're going to sing a song and we're going to hold hands. Life doesn't work like that. Life is business. You have to have resources. So I'm not here to browbeat somebody because who they voted for. But what I do want to say, people are going to have to learn, stop being emotional. I have a video that's coming out on Patreon. You got to learn to stop being emotional. And I've said it before. And we talk about this, another issue that came up with regard to homelessness. Black people, 30% of the population, 40% of homelessness. You think? Well, if somebody's coming over to replace you and they're not coming over here to starve, everybody's looking for a better life for themselves. Do you not get it? And if you're at the bottom, guess what? Somebody got to move around. When a person tells you and you say, well, what about reparations for ADOS or FBA, Foundational Black Americans, American Descendants of Slaves? What about reparations? And a person tells you on a global stage, they're going to invest in the immigrants. The lack of the answer is your answer. I don't know who didn't hear the message. When a person tells you that, you might want to believe them. Okay, they've given you the answer. Sometimes the lack of the answer is the answer. And he made it clear what it was going to do. Now, Orange had the Trumpster said, keep them out. And I'm not telling you to go pro-Trump, do whatever you want to do. But what I am saying, we have to listen to information and don't just sit there and say, well, what everybody else said. Stop and think, hey, that sounds like this. One person is saying, keep them out, protect American jobs. Well, I don't like him. I ain't liking what he said last week. I don't condone everything the man says, you think? He has his own opinion. But the other person tells you clearly, oh, yeah, well, basically they're going to set up a replacement and they're going to invest in people who have never made an investment in America, never set foot on the soil. So here's one part to consider. Don't forget, I did a video months ago about them being in New York. Okay? And we have the immigrants in hotels. We got Americans sleeping on the floor. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at this news, at this clip here on Twitter.
With the city struggling to house thousands of new migrants, we've learned that tensions at some city homeless shelters are at a new high. Fights are breaking out. In some cases, we're told the resentment is palpable. This brawl happened inside a Brooklyn shelter for families Thursday night. Residents tell the I-Team tensions boiled over between local homeless and newly arrived migrants. Police responded, and today some migrant families moved out of the shelter and into a local church because they simply did not feel safe. We've heard similar stories from several shelters.
Migrants are getting beat on, the police is being called.
Some nonprofit shelter operators tell the I-Team a major cause of the resentment is that the city is now moving people around from shelter to shelter to make room for migrants.
Why are we being displaced for them when we was already reasonable accommodated here? Why are we being moved around, shuffled around?
This resident, who asked us not to use her name, says she was suddenly forced to vacate the Queen's shelter where she'd been living for almost a year and where she received special accommodations for a disability.
I'm on 5 different kinds of medications, and I can't take my medicine without eating. So I haven't eaten in about 3 days.
But in her new shelter, she says she has no refrigerator and is not allowed to keep food in her room.
Yeah, this is my leftovers. This is what I have to put my food in.
Because?
Because we can only allow to bring in 1 plate of food at a time.
We have been speaking with a lot of people who are facing sudden transfers and sudden moves because the city is moving people around with no notice, moving people around without taking their reasonable accommodations into consideration.
Some advocates for the homeless want the city to open new facilities for migrants and let everyone else stay put. To be clear, right now, the migrants are also being...
Okay. Build new facilities for migrants. Who's paying for it? Where's the money coming from? Listen, things are tough already. They're saying it's going to get worse. I thought the stock market was bad. Oh my gosh. I told you last week I was down like 20 in my long positions. I'm a little person. So to me, that's a lot of money. They're saying it can get a lot worse. Inflation. This morning, and I told a friend of mine last week, I said, listen, the best thing to do is, I know you don't like it, is today in swing trade. If you see a couple $1,000s on the table, well, I'm going to wait for a bigger payout. Go right ahead and do it. If you see a couple $1,000s on the table, you might want to take it. If you see yourself, I would advise anybody, if you are trading, if you see yourself in one day, for us little people, if you can get a come up of $3,000, $5,000, I would advise you. I mean, I would take it. I sure would. Everybody's different. I know about the taxes and all that. If you see a up, you got an upswing. Oh, today, if I close this out, I can get $3,000, $5,000 for a little person. I sure as heck would take it. You may have to wait another week to get that. You can go back in, rinse and repeat. I should take the money. This morning, listen to Squawk Box, as I always do 5 days a week. Hedge fund manager says, going long, they've lost so much money. 50% down, and the other 50% of their money is in cash. And he said they are shorting. They are day trading. And he said that's what he would suggest to any retail investors, such as myself. I figured that out. It's to day trade. And then just hold the long positions. See when it comes back. So if you can, I would tell anybody, if your money's getting tight, and if you look up, okay, today that's $1,200, but it's still early. If you want to take it, take it. That money will add up. 1,000 here, maybe 2,000 more. Before you know it, boom. Okay. So I would advise anybody that I can tell you what to do, something to consider. What's my point? The point is, things are going to get worse. You think the hedge fund putting that out there like that just for the heck of it? They're asking him questions. He's giving answers. And as a matter of fact, I wrote his name down, but my apologies. So many papers up here. I got it mixed up. So anyway, yeah, I wrote the guy's name down so I could follow him on Twitter. So yeah, so that right there, for him to say that, again, hedge fund managers, they don't deal with the layaway plan. They deal with serious money. That right there speaks volumes. You have to find a way. You just can't sit there and wait. Why? Because they already know that, guess what? Things are bad. Things are not going to be so easy, and they're going to get worse. So stop and think. It's already getting worse. It could go left further. It's already getting worse. So stop and think. Now we're sitting up here with Americans having to get shuffled around out of a homeless shelter where she's been. And if you notice, both of those women, they sound black to me. One of them, I can see her hands. 2 black women. We're leading and getting evicted. Gee, I wonder why. Most black women voted for Joey B. Well, Trump wasn't going to do nothing to him. Well, he did tell you that he was going to keep the immigrants out. Gee, for a reason. He said, let them stay in their country and we'll process. Open borders, this what you got. And black women were going to be victimized. I hate to tell you. because we don't have the protection that other women have. We don't have the physical protection, and we do not have the financial protection that other women have. We just don't have it. So a simple thing, people are already on edge. It's enough being in a shelter, having lost your residence, your security. So now you think, okay, I've been here for a minute. They're accommodating me in this fashion. Now you look up without even a warning. You just look up, boop, you got to go over here. The immigrants coming in. How you were accommodated here, it's not going to happen over there. You've been moved around to make room for whom? Make room for the illegal immigrant? And many want to live out the word illegal. It is illegal. Make room for the illegal immigrant. Compliments of Joey B. Move over, Bacon. Move over, American citizen. Move over, taxpayer. Here comes the illegal immigrant. I haven't paid a dime into the system. You're already down on your luck. That's why you're at the homeless shelter. So now you got to move around again, like you're the one in violation, so you can accommodate somebody who has committed a violation. Oh my, make it make sense. Make it make sense. Again, I told you before, some come here, they have got free rent for a year and free utilities. Who paying for that? There was an article that over 20,000 Americans were late on their electricity bill. Who's paying for that? We have food securities. You got black politicians going, oh, I propose millions of dollars to help feed the immigrants. So sometimes we're on a hamster wheel just trying to make it to survive. You got to stop and think. Oh, just press the button for the Dems. Press it for this. Press it for if you want to Republican. Oh, you got to stop and think. You have to. So when he made that statement, that they would be foolish not to invest in them, raising his little voice, in my opinion, he already told you your answer. It's like someone saying to me, well, yeah, go ahead and come in my store. And I said, hey, I'm just going to open up a store. I'm going to open up me a store. I don't have any product. It's for black people only. Please have your debit card, credit card ready. Even take cash. I'm not going to offer anything, but just, spend your money with me. And that's what we've been getting with the Democrats, and we don't want to face it. Trust me, I used to be one of those, I'm out there, fundraising for Obama. Yeah, the light came on. I started hearing different things, and I was like, why are they saying that? And I started doing my research. Now listen to everybody around me. Just listening to doing my research, and I was like, oh, all this is happening. It's been on the news. Like my friends, I'm like, he's like, a lot of people like that, they don't want to hear it. And so when they hear news like that coming up, it's information. It's not about twisting and dancing and twerking. They just turn the channel, turn off, and keep on moving. No one hear all that. And then you go and make a decision, and you're like, hey, I voted for that guy. Hey, he's putting them over me. Hey, I don't like that. Well, hell, he told you last week what he was going to do. You don't want to listen. This here, it's horrible. If the Republicans did, I'd be saying the same thing. Independent, I'd be saying the same thing. Just be, she says, we saw this coming. The homeless are being displaced by immigrants in New York. Fights are breaking out. Don't forget about the song at the hotel. Free Wi-Fi, oh, continental breakfast. Did you see that? Looking like a sweet to me. But a lot of people, they didn't see it coming. They didn't. Don't think, just do. Do what everybody else did. I'm going to roll on with the crowd, and I'm going to hope and pray when you can pray upon you a new location. This is just like having somebody in your family and go, oh, hey, my kids, you guys, go in the garage and stay. I'm going to bring in these other kids that I didn't have. I have no obligation to, but yeah, I like them, so I'm going to give them a chance, and they're going to go ahead and take your room, okay? DeQuanda, Megan, honey, you're going to sleep in the garage tonight. I'm going to bring the other. The heck I would. But that's what's happening. And we don't want to face it. We don't want to face it. We want to go ahead and say, well, this is what's happening. So it's going to be happening to your jobs, housing, now with the homeless. So yeah, I think this year, a lot of people's lives are going to be in turmoil. I mean, they're saying it can get worse. A lot of people are living a nightmare. A lot of people are living a nightmare. Over 8,000, they say 8,000 cars a day are repossessed in America. They got jobs out there. Well, if they can't get to it because it's too far, see what I'm saying? So this here, I've been telling you, they are getting offered. And look, heck, if you were in a depressed country, hell, I'd go too. Free year of rent, free year of utilities. Here's a job, but it's only paying $12 an hour. Many Americans don't have that with free rent. Many Americans could use that with free rent, free utilities for a whole year. Who's paying for it? So now the homelessness fight's breaking out. You got to move around. Move over, American. Here comes the illegal immigrant. So it's not haterade. I'm just letting you know, you have to make decisions. We got to start thinking. Many lives are being upset. And this at the border is not going to stop. We already have problems here with inflation. People can't survive. Americans can't survive. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Feel free to comment, like, subscribe, and share. The point I want to drive home, we just have to start thinking, make the best decision for you. I don't care about the pastor, the mammy, the mama, the boyfriend, the baby daddy, baby mama. We have to start thinking and make the best decisions for ourselves. Stop and think, if this happens, what are some of the pros and cons? If it helps you, maybe you can twerk while you do it, go ahead and do it. Maybe twerk while you type it out on one list, pros, next one, cons. Better start thinking, because the ones who don't, just roll with the punches. Well, I'm going to see what they're going to do. A lot of those that think that way are not going to make it, not going to survive. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. Feel free to comment, like, subscribe, and share. Simply Said here on YouTube. Love you lots, and I'm out.